Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I hope everyone is in good health. I welcome you all to my channel, and through this channel, you are going to learn about various aspects of physics in a complete different way. In this series of lessons, I am going to begin my journey with the topic origin of science, and I would like to start my lesson with the verse from Surah Ankabut. This is 20th verse from Surah Ankabut that states, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ بدأ الخلق ثم الله ينشئ النشأة الآخرة إن الله على كل شيء قدير. I chose this verse specifically because it is so much connected to our today's topic, that is origin of science, and I want you to drag your attention towards the translation as I read it. Say, O Muhammad, travel through the land and observe how he began creation. Then Allah will produce the final creation. Indeed, Allah over all things is competent. So if you see the background of this verse or this surah, you will find that this surah reflects the power of the Allah Almighty, and it explains how well Allah created the heavens and the earth, and He is able to do it again and again. So all we need to do is to travel and to observe. Allah Almighty has already created so much around us that we need to look around and observe what He has created and to learn about it. So in this verse, there is a great emphasis to look around yourself. You can use your senses, all the five senses. You can touch something whenever you move around. So this is a very basic instinct of a human, that we observe everything around us through our senses. When we touch something, when we smell something, when we see something specifically. So this is directly related to the origin of science, as we know the basic introduction of the origin of science, as that science is derived from a Latin word scienta, that means knowledge. And we also know that in the beginning there was only one category of science, that was named as philosophy, and later on, with the advancement and more exploration, we came up with a lot of sub branches of the philosophy. And so I want to understand the origin of science logically. Like, I do not know anything about the scientific laws at the beginning, and I know nothing about the science. So how would I explain how science was being originated? So as you can see that I underlined two words here, that travel or move around. Whether you are moving locally, nationally, internationally, whatever it is, you observe what is happening around you. So I want to connect this observation to the origin of science, how it is connected to the origin of science, how it is linked with the origin of science. So basically I want to know and I want to understand how science originated at the first place. So for this I would like to make a logical map for my understanding, that in the modern world, what do we call as the scientific laws, how scientific laws were formulated, because it is a very advanced step that we have now are the scientific laws. So what was the very beginning of the science, how science originated? And I believe that, and it is quite logically to believe that everything starts from an observation. And this is a very important point, because this is how you come into the influence and you start to think about what is happening around you, and you try to explain it to other people, and that is how you explore new things that nobody else ever know before. So when you observe something, you try to explain it to the people who did not observe the same phenomena or the process. So For example, we can add a fact here that Egyptians were the first people who observed the formation of day and night. It was all there, but there was always a one person to observe it so keenly that he wants to explain it to other people. So when Egyptians observed this phenomena happening around them, they try to explain it to the other people who were not into such sort of observation. So they try to explain it in the form of you can say it hypothesis, like they assume several things. For example, when they observed that there is darkness, there is light at some time of the day, they hypothesized or they assumed that the sun moves around the earth. Later on, they expand this hypothesis or assumption as planets move around the earth, which we now know that is completely wrong, because we know that it is the earth and the planets that move around the sun due to its gravitational effect. And so in the early ages, in the early times, Egyptians hypothesized this observation as that the sun is moving around the earth, and they try to form a law out of this observation. They explained this hypothesis in the form of a theory. Theory is basically a complete story of the observation. What was the initial step, what is the main story, and what is the conclusion. So theory basically is a sort of story that we tell other people who may not know about it before. So theory can form a law, but if I am a logical person, I will not believe every word that I have heard of. So I want some sort of proof that this theory is right, this story is right, because the people who observe that phenomena want me to believe it. So if I am a logical person, I will not believe it just as it. I want some proof, and this proof must be some data, authentic data from some reliable source, or the experimentation. So there must be some experimentation or acquired data through some reliable source to support this theory. And if there is some experimentation or acquired data that do not support this theory, then it cannot form a law. But if the theory is supported by the data and experimentation, it forms a law. So if experimentation fails, we would go back to the first, second, or third step. Maybe we try to keenly observe the same phenomena again and again, and maybe we try to add some more assumptions in the hypothesis, or maybe we try to reformulate the theory. So this is a very logical map for me to understand that how can a law form in sciences, and in modern day we call it the scientific method. And this scientific method is recognized and acknowledged throughout the world, and it uses the same methodology as we have explained logically, that whenever we observe something, it forms a law, but it forms a law only through the theory that has been proved by the experiments. And if this theory is not approved by some experimentation or the data, then we will modify the theory, or maybe we will make some more observations, or maybe we will reformulate the theory. So there have been so many ways to do it again and again until and unless we form a law. So this is how science originated, that we observe something, there is a whole process to form a law, and then there were a lot of laws, and there were laws about the biology, there were laws about the universe, there were laws about several other fields, so it was very hard to add them up under a same category, that is philosophy. Then the philosophy is subdivided into basically physical sciences and biological sciences. Then again they keep subdividing into many other fields, and nowadays we have a lot of number of the branches of science. So at the very beginning we have just the observation, and this observation led us to the point where we are now. We have explored a lot of our universe, and still there is so much left to explore. And to sum up this lesson, I would like you to drag your attention to the very important point, that is observation. Like, it is very important for us to be curious what is happening, about what is happening around our surroundings. So our observations, our curiosity basically led us to do something great. And there have been so many indications in Holy Quran about many scientific um, truths that most of us have already seen proved scientifically, and that there is still a lot that we need to understand and that we need to explore. So if we pay attention, so we will be able to do a very good job in the field of science. And as we have seen that this flow of knowledge from Greeks to the modern ages took a lot of time, took a lot of effort, and we will talk about this flow of knowledge from Greeks to the modern world in the next lesson. And I hope you like this lesson and you will subscribe to my channel. And till the next lesson, I wish all of you a very good health and happiness. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.